I'm AutoEdits Jason, and you've caught us at the beginning of our first road trip in the Tahoe. This Drive Your Adventures, we're gonna take the Tahoe back up to Northern California. We're gonna first stop in Santa Cruz, then head on up to where else? Lake Tahoe. Hop on board. So we're on the Paso Robles Highway, also known as the James Dean Highway, because down here a bit is where he had his fatal car crash, and I just thought this would be a unique place to start this little road trip video with you guys. We're a couple hours outside of LA. I got the first couple hundred miles on the Tahoe pretty good. You want to get a feel for what the car's gonna feel like, and it's a lot of effort. The steering is just completely worn out on this thing, so it's not like a relaxing thing to drive, but it's actually quite nice. So I'm going up first to Santa Cruz today, and that's to go visit my buddy Joe with the 1-ton axle Jeep, and we're gonna spend a couple days getting his Jeep ready for his first real off-roading trip in it, up to Big Bear and the Jeepers Jamboree. And I'm gonna miss that trip, but I'm gonna go and help wrench and just, kind of help him pack. And we got a couple of fun videos to make out of that. And then I'm gonna continue on up from Santa Cruz over to Lake Tahoe in the Tahoe. It just feels kind of a funny, I've never actually been to Lake Tahoe, so it feels like this is the perfect excuse for a road trip to Lake Tahoe. Guys, this is what Drive Your Adventures is all about. Throw some junk in your vehicle, hit the road, set your sights on some fun destination and get there. Speaking of throwing your junk in the back, I have some of my camera gear here, but I have just all like sleeping bags, tools, just, all of the things I think I would want for a several day trip in the back. And it doesn't, this thing is so big. There's so much room for activities. Now, if you guys just watched the last video where we did the gears and put a rear locker in this thing, so this thing has 456 gears with 35-inch tires. And you can see it goes down the highway pretty good. I can't complain, other than you just have to feed steering input into it all the time because the front end's just a little wandery. But otherwise, the Patagonias are a great road trip tire. I've had those on my Jeep for a while, 20,000 plus miles on that. So there you go, let's hunker in, make some miles. So we're coming up to the spot where James Dean met his untimely fate. And it's this highway is just 2 lanes from inland to the coast. And right here, there's a little farm, I think it was a farm truck that pulled right out in front of him. He was in his little Porsche Spider, and right there. And so we made it. We're here at Joe's place. Howdy, Joe.
Howdy.
Joe's Jeep is ready. We're actually gonna do a little bit of wrenching, and got a little list. Tell me a little quick thing about the cardboard list here.
So I always thought the whole writing on cardboard was kind of a cheesy thing, TV thing, that kind of thing. But yesterday when I started writing this list, I'm like, I need some paper.
It's real. Yeah.
And the only thing I had was a box.
Cardboard, and it's legit, and it's nice to write big, so it's a legit thing. So we're gonna knock a few things out. You're going to Easter Jeep Safari? Or no.
Big Bear Jeep Jamboree.
Thank you. We were just talking about Easter Jeep, sorry. So we're gonna knock a few things off this list, get a little bit of wrenching done, eat some steak of potatoes, drink some beers, and enjoy the evening here in Santa Cruz and wrench on the Jeep. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be awesome.
It already is. So it's way later than I was hoping to be getting it's a lot farther than I thought to get to Tahoe from Santa Cruz. So we have at least 3.5 hours left. It's after 5 o'clock. It's gonna be late when we get to Tahoe, but we're gonna get there tonight. That's the plan, that's the goal. Come on, Tahoe, let's do this. So it was a great day. We just wrenched on Joe's Jeep. We knocked I think we actually knocked everything off the to-do list, off the cardboard to-do list, and had a nice lunch, had a great visit, and now it's off to continue this adventure. And you know, no joke, no lying, the Tahoe it's a pleasant and fun vehicle, but it is work to drive. Just always chasing it just wears you down a little bit. So that's a factor in this thing. So I'll be wiped tonight, but I thought to get a little update here to catch us up on where we're at. So let's burn some miles into Tahoe, people, with the Tahoe. We can do this. I might have to stop and get some coffee. Well, we made it to Lake Tahoe in the Tahoe. Just gentle snow right now, just started last night, and slept at the most expensive Holiday Inn Express last night. Was gonna try to camp, but it was too late, too dark, and the snow had me like, maybe not yet. And that body of water right back there, Lake Tahoe, behind this beautiful Tahoe. The thing's a trooper. The suspension is horrible, just worn out, you know, going down the highway and all those windy mountain roads, but made it, we're here. Now also, there's a quick weather update. There is an extreme storm, like a blizzard, coming in this afternoon, this evening. So I may literally have to do a tag this sign, "We made it to Tahoe," in the Tahoe, yes, and hightail it home, because it's a big one. Like, there's storm alerts and road closures coming. So it's something to be concerned about. So, hey, that's part of the deal. You know, when you head out on the road, you have to improvise. So we're gonna go now, we have a few minutes, we're gonna go over to Emerald Bay. So we're gonna saddle up, head across town over to one of the most beautiful, you know, parks in California. Head over to Emerald Bay. So let's go check that out. So we're in South Lake Tahoe, to be specific. Tahoe is the largest body of water, like the largest lake in California. And so it's huge. So South Lake Tahoe is kind of the fancier part, where it has the casinos on the Nevada side, which is just a few blocks that way, and then all the fancy chalets and restaurants and retail stuff. So it's a consumer destination, you know, for sure. It's exactly what you'd think. Now here, believe it or not, I've never been. I'm born and raised in California, never been to Tahoe. This is like rich people stuff, you know, for me. So I didn't really ski that hardcore when I was younger, or snowboard, so this just wasn't a place I ended up. But it's kind of cool. I actually really, truly feel like I want to spend some time here. I looked up online last night a few cool trails. Now, I did poor preparation before I came here. I was like, okay, I'm only gonna have a few hours, or, you know, I was gonna try to spend a full day here. And then realistically, that means an activity or two. So, you know, it is beautiful. I mean, it is like this cool, huge, blue, green body of water that just goes out, and you're in the middle of these redwood trees. So that's kind of cool. So it's definitely worth exploring more, and there are a few pretty cool trails out here to go and hit that almost look perfect for this thing, like not too hard, but get you to some pretty cool camping spots, and that's the whole point of this vehicle. But it feels good to just throw some junk in the back of the rig here and hit the road, and that's what this series hopefully does for people is to inspire you to just do even a small adventure like this. Just pick a spot on the map and say, I've never been there, let's go check it out. And that's what I did. And that's what I'd like to inspire you to do too, right? All right, you can see this, right? It's got a dense snow happening and the wind's kicking up. So the blizzard is for real. We're at Emerald Bay State Park now. It's gorgeous up here. That's the one thing that I keep saying to myself. I'm looking out the window going, oh my goodness. So we're gonna hike around for a few minutes. I'll see if we can get out there and get a good view for you guys. But yeah, we landed here. Let's go check it out. Over there, whew, let's get a good footing here. It's just getting to that point where the moisture on the rocks is getting icy, so it's making it kind of fun, adding extra challenge to it. But there is the Emerald Bay. If it were any other day or sunny, you would see this glistening, beautiful body of water. Right now it's a foggy, but still beautiful, weirdly beautiful bay out there. Very cool, right? I'm out of shape, and this altitude gets to you. I don't know what that bird is, but I've seen a few of them, and they just certainly, they hang out on the ground, and they just aren't afraid of humans that much. I gotta say, the heater actually works exceptional in this thing. Haven't fixed the AC yet. Don't need it right now. It is freezing cold, but wow, what a terrain change. So I made the call since it was so stormy, and a couple of locals were saying that they were battening down the hatches for this big storm coming in, and hustled down the mountain. And now I'm heading towards Placerville and to the 395 to take the back way home, the 395 back down to Los Angeles. And wow, we're now down into the Flatlands. It's beautiful terrain, no more pine trees, little like rural stuff. It's turn right on the US 395 south, US Highway 395. So there we go, we're coming up to the 395. Well, of course, the Tahoe made it home in one piece. It's a road warrior. It's in better shape than I am. Now, it still has that nagging problem with the steering being a little bit difficult to keep track of, and that wearing me out. That has helped me sharpen the list on things next to do, and I'll actually show you the piece that showed up while I was gone that's going to help do that and be one of the next upgrades. But I wanted to take 2 minutes to just kind of run through some of the prep that I did on this thing for the trip and some of the performance of this thing during the trip, like gas mileage. I bet you guys are curious. For 56 gears in this thing with the 35-inch tires, I was averaging about 18 miles to the gallon, which is fantastic. 24, 25 gallon tank in this thing. I dipped into the reserve once, and so that shows 450 mile range. It's larger than my bladder, so it's a fantastic road trip machine. So let's talk about some of the things I did before. All right, now, so for tune-up prep for this road trip, I did all of the fluids. I did the differentials, the transmission fluid, and the oil. And since this thing has a worn out steering box, a gearbox, it leaks oil right out the main shaft of that thing. So I put a steady diet of power steering fluid in that thing. I actually used the stop leak, the Lucas stop leak, and it slowed it down substantially. So it was every other tank of gas. So, and on this trip, because gas mileage was actually pretty darn good, I only did 3 full tanks of gas on the thing, so it was pretty great. Now the engine oil I'm using in this thing is the Lucas 5W30 synthetic. Now a lot of people express concerns that if you don't know what kind of oil was in a vehicle before, can you go to synthetic? And I haven't had any problems with that. And I've been running this in actually all of the vehicles here and with good results so for years. So, you know, someone could help me out in the comments if that's a thing, but in my experience, this is a product that I'm actually very happy with. Now, I did go ahead and flush the transmission fluid while I was here. Now, I did a how to do that on the truck video a while back, and the only thing that I changed is that I bought one of those little silly hand pumps to actually drain as much of the pan out of the dipstick as I could. I'll put a link to the little pump, the hand pump that I used, and it did make getting the tray off a little bit easier, doing a controlled spill, controlled drain. And then I used the multi-vehicle ATF from Lucas as well. Same stuff that I actually have in the truck. So this stuff right here is literally a multi-vehicle. It's amazing that it actually works over in both. And we just ran a 1,000+ mile road trip in this thing, and it shifted actually a little bit crisper than it did before. Oh, and I did do the serpentine belt in this thing. So pro tip, when you do the serpentine belt in an older vehicle like this, and you have no idea when any of that stuff was serviced, do the tensioner, and there'll be an idler pulley in there as well. They're relatively cheap and they're very easy to replace, so do those as well. And then air filter, fuel filter, that's it. I changed the diff fluids after the break-in period, and that's it for the run on this thing. So the thing just really is eager to run. Next up, I think it's time to address some of the steering stuff. Let me show you what came in the shipping while I was gone. That is gonna be the very next thing I think we're gonna do on this thing. So yeah, thanks to comments from you guys in the last couple of videos, I went to Kryptonite and ordered their steering stuff for this thing, and I couldn't be more thrilled with how this stuff looks already. First off, the warranty is for life, so you know you're getting a pretty decent product when the company says, for whoever purchases this stuff is warranted, jump it, race it, do whatever, it's warranted for life. That's very reassuring. So what we got here is the Death Grip Pitman arm, new Pitman arm, so that way it's got the death grip, not me, because that's what I ended up having as I was chasing this thing all, you know, to keep it in the lane down the highway. Everything is just billet tough, just amazingly strong components. I mean, it's heavy stuff, and it looks really good. So we got tie rod ends, we got their SS steering kit, and then the death grip Pitman arm. So I'm really excited to get this on. The craftsmanship on these bad boys is unmistakable. I mean, you could just see it. It's glowing. It's emanating out of the packaging here. It looks pretty cool. So I'm still researching on which steering gearbox. There's a company nearby me that rebuilds it. It's a little pricey, or there's companies like Redhead, thanks to you guys, that I'm aware of that can rebuild one and you could do an exchange program. So I'm looking at my best option for that. But once I get that steering box, this is going in, and I can't wait. It's just gonna make this thing the long-range missile that I'm hoping it would be. It's proving drivetrain-wise to be amazing. Well, there you have it. The Tahoe to Lake Tahoe road trip was all in all a resounding success. Even getting chased out of there by a blizzard and having to chase the steering the whole time. Had a great visit with Joe, had just got to see some countryside, get out on the road, which is always good, and hopefully inspires one of you guys to throw a bag into one of your vehicles and hit the road. That's the whole point of these things. So thank you guys for coming along for the ride, and until next time, enjoy your drive.